Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Madad Ya Sahibul Saif. Shaykh Abdul Karim Kabir Siyar Rabbani. We're asking his madad, his support, as much as we are connecting to him, then that much power we're going to get to be connected. If you love someone, you're always going to think about that someone, isn't it? That's why Allah is saying, remember me. Remember me. And I will remember you. They're saying, Islam, there's no love in Islam. We like to run to Christianity. There's so much love, you know. They love so much that they hang the one who's bringing them the truth. That is love. What kind of love that one brought, that faith brought now for 2,000 years, everybody knows. If you love, you're always going to remember. That is the law of the love. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, remember me, and I will remember you. Don't think that Allah is putting condition there. Allah putting condition to say, if you make zikr of me, only then I will remember you. Allah remembering us is before we remember Allah. Because Allah is our creator. And Allah created the Prophet ﷺ, and all this other, everything in creation Allah created because of that Prophet. From that Prophet. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I was a hidden treasure and I wanted to be known. So I've created the Prophet, the light, these universes for the sake of that one that Allah in another hadith Qudsi is saying, if it were not for you, I would not have created the universes. So everything is for the sake of that most beloved one. Yeah. So if Allah does not love this world, us, He would not send one drop of rain to this world. He would not let one breath of clean air to pass through. And Allah is saying, it is for the sake of those ones that I love and that they love me that I'm sending this rahmat to them. If it's not for those little sheep, those lambs, for the babies, and for the elderly people, I would not send one drop of water to this world. This water to this world that gives life to this world. That this world is forgetting me and being a tyrant to itself and to others. That's why in Islamic societies, families, the old ways, not old, as in old, now it's new, so we must take out the old. No, in the original way. Muslims, families, they don't live one father, one mother, and a couple of children. That is Western style. That is modern kafir style. To say, I'm independent, I'm separate, everything is for me. It is my life. Don't tell me what to do. And children, they are raised to grow up to only think about themselves. Because if you have 2, 3 children, then definitely, especially if you have one child, definitely that child, everything you're going to put on top of him is not going to grow up to know how to communicate properly, how to socialize properly, how to share, how to be tolerant, how to be lenient, how to get along. He won't know that. Because everything is saying, no, you are princess. You are prince. The whole world must listen to you. Because the father and the mother, the grandparents, everyone is saying, you. Putting that kid up and worshipping that kid. So the kid grows up understanding only his ego. Only how to satisfy its ego. And when the world is not satisfying his ego, he gets very upset. He gets very angry. He gets very depressed. In the original ways, yes, the father and the mother. But the father and the mother is never away from his own father and mother. and his own relatives. If they don't all together, especially in India, they all live together in one big housing complex. Afghanistan, they used to do that too. So many, you look in the old traditional ways, they do that. If you don't do that, at least you live in the same village. You're not far away. You establish the Siratul Rahim, the path of what? Compassion with each other. And because you have the elderly people always in that kind of family, you have the grandparents and you have the younger ones, the grandchildren, rahmat always falling down that time. That's why those times, even when you don't have much, you have enough. And everyone is content and they are happy. Now, you have so much, nobody is contented, no one is happy, everyone is complaining. Because there's no rahmat. The key now, it is a blessing, it is a rahmat. The rahmat is not according to how much money you have, who you know, what kind of power you have, what is your family, no. Rahmat is pleasing Allah and His Prophet. And is pleasing those ones that the Prophet is saying, these are my inheritors. Please them, and Allah will be pleased with you. The children, they have to be around. The elderly people, they have to be around. Living in a natural setting, the little sheep that are running around, you're looking at them, you're understanding now how innocent they are, how pure. What a great creator we have. It's nothing, but it's only going to give you faith. And the younger ones, they grow up, and they are not going to be brainwashed into thinking everyone must serve them. They learn from a young age that time how to give respect to others, how to go and to give respect to the elderly ones, and how to be kind and how to be compassionate to the younger ones. They learn how to tolerate, they learn how to share. These days, all these values, it is lost. Why? Because we are following the West. The West is teaching us selfishness, egoism, nothing else. You go to school, that's what they're going to teach you. Because they're not starting out teaching the kids about Allah and His Prophet. They're not starting off teaching the kids about respect to the elderly ones and how to be lenient and kind to the younger ones. You think that time you're going to know how to be compassionate, how to be kind? You think that time you're going to have Islam? No. Islam is not just praying 5 times a day, fasting, going to Hajj, zakat, saying shahadat. No. Islam, it is a lifestyle. It is a lifestyle. You cannot now have a kafir lifestyle and praying 5 times a day. What good is that going to give you? The prayer is supposed to give you faith. It's supposed to give you more faith. It's supposed to give you the intelligence and the faith to know what is right and what is wrong. To stay away from the wrong things and to take what is right and to put it in our lives. So everything that we are doing is supposed to help us in our lives. It is to put into our lives. It is a practice. The old, traditional, original ways will come back. It must come back. Because the way that this world is going right now, the direction, is heading towards self-destruction at any minute. You don't have to be a scientist to know this. You don't have to be a saint to understand this. The way that we are living, the way that we are consuming this planet with waste, especially in this country, wasting. Islam is teaching, yesterday we just spoke, if you have food enough for one person, food for one person, it is enough for 2. Food for 2 persons, it is enough for 4. Islam is teaching moderation with life. Islam is not teaching us to make this life into a paradise, to go running to make this life to live like kings and queens. It is not. Islam is teaching us, live this life in moderation. Do not waste. Because if you live in moderation, you will not waste. If you say that I deserve to live this life the highest way that I want, the best way that I want, definitely you're going to waste. And definitely that time, quickly come in. Again, sign of a munafiq. Every time has to happen. Every single time. Wasting, it is forbidden. Wasting, it is forbidden. And if you waste, that time rahmat is going to be lifted away from you. If you waste your rizq, your provisions will decrease. You want your provisions to increase? Don't waste. Say shukr. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now this story fits now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him so much wealth. He had sheep, that if the sheep go up to the mountains to graze, all the mountains will turn white with his sheep. And he was so rich, he had so much, Allah blessing him with it, that he had 1,000 shepherd dogs, sheep dogs. He has 1,000 sheep dogs, and on every dog has a collar made from pure gold, studded with diamonds, and the chain is made from the gold. He had so much wealth, Allah is blessing him. It's getting a lot. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, Khalilullah, is saying, when Jibreel alayhi salam came to visit him, sending salams from his Lord, saying, my Lord has blessed me with so much wealth, but this is too much. And I wish for it to become more manageable, so I can do my other responsibilities. Because he is a prophet, he is Ulul Azam prophet. So Jibreel alayhi salam came back and saying, salams from your Lord. And your Lord is saying, if you want your wealth to decrease, eat and walk at the same time. Eat and walk at the same time. Then your wealth will decrease. Because the food, Allah is providing the food. The food in Islam, it is sacred. It is holy. It is blessed. The food, it is so holy that we must show respect to it. That even Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, if I'm eating, if you are eating, and I'm entering into the room, don't stand up for me. Continue eating. That he is saying, if you're preparing to eat, and the time for prayer is coming, and the food is already prepared, eat the food. Don't pray yet. Today's people, they're watching TV and eating. They're reading and eating. They're eating when they're walking, when they're talking. New styles from Europe, they're even eating in the bathrooms, isn't it? Of course they do. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, he did that. He walked and he ate. But his watching, his wealth, instead of going down, it started to increase even more. He's getting confused. So he said, Ya Jibril, I'm not understanding this. Jibreel alayhi salam then said to him, Ya Ibrahim, because you are the friend of Allah and you had so much love and respect to Allah and whatever Allah has put value to, like food, it is against your nature to disrespect food. Because when you walk and you eat, and when you're eating the bread, when you walk and you eat, instead of the food falling down to the ground, you were holding your hand underneath. And you were saving the crumbs that were falling down. And you were taking the crumbs and saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and eating it and giving thanks to your Lord. Because of that, your wealth, instead of decreasing, is increasing. This is belief. This is Islam. Muslims, they're not believing this anymore. That's why they have so much, they waste, and there's no peace coming to their hearts. There's no peace in their families, not in individuals, not in communities. Something is not right. There is no satisfaction. They have everything. They have food that will fill up supermarkets. They have medicines that will fill up pharmacies. They have heat and cold whenever they want. The bathroom, they just take 3 steps and they enter into a bathroom. Anything that they want, they have. Technology is reaching to them, especially the Muslims in this country. But they're not being thankful to Allah. And they are not being respectful to the food. and they are wasting. That's why the Ottomans, if any holy thing that you have, for example, Quran, or even our tasbih, when we're doing the tasbih, we don't hold it below our belly buttons. Because below the belly button, it is where the awrat is beginning. It is where dirtiness is. That's why we're holding our hands too, making a dua up, high. It's not low. So many Muslims are making dua and they're putting their hands down there, asking Allah and putting it there. Tawbah, astaghfirullah. You're understanding the logic now? They're taking the Quran and they're reading, but they're putting it down there. It is forbidden. It's supposed to be higher than your belly button. And the Ottomans are saying food is holy. For that reason, they have the safra and they put it high above their belly button too, and they eat like that. They don't put it low. Yes, if you have the proper manners, you may put it. Yes, it is sunnah to put and to eat from the floor too. But so many Muslims, you see, they don't have proper manners when it comes. Not only they waste, but the way that they eat is not the way that the Prophet is teaching how to eat. They're putting all sorts of food into their beards, and they're wasting, they're talking, and the crumbs is everywhere, and they're throwing away the food. They're throwing it to garbage. Muslims are doing this. Astaghfirullah. If his kafir is doing this, maybe we can say, you don't have Sharia. But in Islam, they're not only doing that, they are flushing it down the toilets now, the food. Because in American system, you can put into the, what is it called that? Food what? Put food disposal. And it goes to the same line as the toilet line. Leftovers, you just put it, grinds it up, and it throws away. Understand that the Ottomans, in the winter time, that they're still continuing, alhamdulillah, up till today. Even the Turks, they lost so many things. In the harsh winter time, they will bring food to the mountains to give to the wild animals. Wild animals, predators. But the sense of adalat, the sense of justice is very strong, because that is Islam. That they bring food to give to the predators to eat. This is coming from who? This is coming from the Prophet. This is coming from Hazrat Umar radiallahu anhu, who says, I will be questioned. Umar is going to be questioned on the day of judgment. That hungry wolf who lives across the Nile is going to be asking the rights from Umar, why it is hungry when I'm a Khalifa. It is this belief that Muslims, they have lost. Inshallah Rahman, there is no choice for us. The days, they are approaching. Heavy days they are approaching. Those ones who are continuing to be selfish and arrogant, not knowing how to share. And sharing is not a matter of, if I'm rich, I share. If I'm poor, I don't share. No. You all know, you've been to people who are so poor in our own countries, yes? They are the most generous people. They are the happiest people. They are the most thankful people. But you go to see those ones who have, they hardly they don't smile. They're very sour. They're very upset. And they're very angry. They don't share. Those ones who are poor ones, they share. If they don't have anything to share, they share their smile. They share their good feelings with you. They're not giving you a heaviness and a burden. May Allah not test us with hunger. Because especially heavy is coming to countries, Western countries, and in America, Shah Effendi has already said so many times, we're going to be tested with hunger. Those who don't know how to share, they're going to suffer that time. Those who knows how to share, like I said, one plate of food, for one person, it is enough for two. Whatever that is for two, it is enough for four. If we live by this principle, inshallah Rahman, then we are stepping on our desires. We're not letting the hawa to go wild, to go crazy like we were talking about yesterday. We are living life moderately, the way Prophet ﷺ is saying, have a simple lifestyle. That time when hardship enters, we will know how to live. And that hardship is going to give us more faith. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ tawfiq. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give long life and a healthy life and a strong life to Sultan al-Awliya, Shaykh Mawlana, and grant our Sahibul Saif the highest maqam, and to increase his Rabbaniyat, and to send us more help and more madad and more support for these days. May this Jamaat get stronger. May all the wrong things and the wrong eyes be lifted away from us. May we wake up, become more alert and alive, and to be in an awakening station to carry this way and to fulfill our work that is set in front of us. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقٍ. حُرْمَةِ الْحَبِيبِ حُرْمَةِ الْفَاتِحَةِ.